We are in an industrial estate outside Amsterdam, about to stop up at our good friends DBM Engineering, somewhere we wanted to visit for a couple of years now. Do a lot of good work for drift cars, for modified cars, for performance cars, and already you can see this place is pretty baller. Turn around.
I will turn.
Yes! Available now in the shop, just letting you know. We haven't been here before. We've been dying to come for a couple of years. You guys are pumping out some really awesome stuff. Yeah, let's go for a little explore around. So this R33 GTR, by the way, at the front, does look a bit strange in the lineup.
Yeah, it's kind of special car. It's an official Midnight Club car.
Wow.
It's an RH9 car, and it's been owned by Smokey.
So Smokey Nagata owned this R33 GTR?
Owned it previously.
Wow.
It's a cool, I'm not even sure what that is, maybe power steering cooler in the replace of the grille, which is pretty cool. As a prediction, I would say this is going to have every old Japanese part on it.
Ooh. Wow. That's gorgeous.
This has been upgraded a bit since I say it was in Japan. And on the inside there's, yep, lots of gauges coming from the roof.
He loved his gauges, and you know what? I can definitely smell Smokey in here.
How do you know what Smokey smells like?
You guys do all the maintenance for this?
Yes.
This is going to be a little behind the scenes for all of you. What a drift car looks like after 5 rounds of Drift Masters. So from the live stream, this is a pretty car because your camera is about 50, 60 feet away. But when you get up close, you start to realize that all of these cars heading into the final round have seen some action. And probably by the end of the Polish round, we'll have seen some more. That's kind of the idea of that event. Last year at the stadium event, kind of looked like a scrapyard in the pits. This is the idea of all these cars, that they're made to do this. They're all tube framed, ready to go. So Clint runs like a pretty nice spec on this, right? It's a very tidy S14.
At the beginning of the season, it's a tidy car.
I always say you can still pop the bonnet and see the tidiness, because this is the bit that hopefully doesn't see any of the walls. So this is like as probably good as it gets for a drift car, right? When it comes to, like, what sort of power is this running?
850 at the moment.
850, big turbo, got all the right stuff in there, and this is obviously it's interesting because he has the tubbed arches. There's a lot of drift cars now just full tube frame front, but this actually is a nice touch because it keeps the engine bay clean from all the rain and everything else that's going on. And you guys have some other interesting bits and pieces in here. By the way, before we go further, awesome to see our Strom DS. I mean, the DS05s have now, they look so good on a drift car, right? Because these are an affordable wheel that looks very bling. And obviously because they're brand new wheels, unlike old school Japanese wheels, if you do mess one up, you can just order one wheel on its own from Strom. So that's kind of the advantage for a drift car. You don't want super rare wheels because obviously you can't replace them, or the offsets. So they look awesome on this car. I love it with the yellow. And then you got some interesting things here. 3 very different cars. We'll start with the drift car because we know what that is, and then these will be unusual to us. So it looks to me like a HGK kit on this?
Yeah, HGK, straight from HGK. I had it clear coated another time because there's quite some shine difference in the body part.
Shiny for a Kevlar car.
And you want to run it with not too many decals and just straight up Kevlar and just keep it as it is. And then we said we could clear it, and then it has all the same shine on it, which makes it really deep and I'd say a lot nicer than it came out of the box.
Yeah, it's that little extra touch. I mean, it's probably, you know, for a drift car, you always say, oh, don't go too far, but I think the extra bit of shine makes it look like it's actually painted like a dark green, and then when you get closer, you see the Kevlar. It's very nice.
Similar spec to Clint's car.
Something about a drift car that hasn't been drifted, that's just so clean, so perfect. I mean, it's never. This is the last time it'll ever be like this. That's the way drift cars are. But this thing is beautiful.
Then and also running the BCs, obviously. Like all cars in the shop are on BCs now.
BC Racing. We have the strong wheels. We have the Link ECU. There's the formula, people. Follow it because it works. I like the AccuSum tucked away up there. It's quite
It's a very
tidy.
neat time.
Every
Engine bay.
BMW has that place if you take like the blower out. So we used to, fit them in there.
It's tidy because usually you got on other cars put them somewhere down here, but it's nice to have it kind of tucked
At
away.
least you won't crash it there. Well, if you do, that's the least of your worries. So.
The engine is gone to this size at that point, so you're not in any trouble. And then you've got, this is a BMW 2002? Whoa, is it like wide arched?
Yeah, these are like the classic rally arches. The Schweinebacke, as they call them, the Germans. Quite heavily modified. The customer just wanted a really cool 2002, but it has like a E36 front axle and like a compact rear axle. But it also has a S54 engine in it.
Also, Dave, have you noticed is that the intercooler radiator at the front that they've done in the same angle
Oh, it's the original.
as the point?
That's very cool. Oh, that's on ITBs as well.
Yeah,
It looks like it fits perfectly.
well, the firewall is moved like a good 17 centimeters back, and also need to do like a whole new tunnel, whole new floor. And then it's hard to see, but it also has a turbo. It's a bottom mount.
Oh, I see, yeah, right down here.
Yeah.
Christ.
And since it was fairly cramped, we even had the intake from the turbo is running through the engine mount.
Wow, through the engine mount.
Yeah.
That's a classic, like, we have a problem here, and then we'll just figure it out. Bit of engineering, right? Just like we'll figure out, we don't give up on the idea.
See if we can.
No way. Look at that.
Hang on a second. So that's where
The air filter goes.
that's
up
where
there.
the air filter
Yeah.
goes.
So the air filter goes through the engine mount of the car. I've never seen anything quite like that. That's unbelievable. And she's on BC Racing coilovers.
Yep.
Best of the best. And you got a Toyota Yaris, a very unusual looking Toyota Yaris. So these are, I've driven a stock one, and they are very impressive for a 3-cylinder, which even if you thought about a performance car with a 3-cylinder before this car, it probably made no sense. But this one, apparently, you guys were telling me before we came here that it's a bit special, right? Something a bit different about this one.
Yeah, we did quite some work to this car. The customer came to us and told us, like, I want to build want to buy a car, and I want to modify everything which I can do to the car. I want to modify it at the highest level available. So
Well, he's gone for a brand new car.
Brand new car.
He's made it look like it's come out of a hedge in Apocalypse, like,
Yeah.
which is quite cool. And then it's, I can see a big intercooler there. Where is the latch on it?
Oh, fucking hell, I have to.
Yeah. If you're building it, you can't find it. Okay, okay.
The intake would give it away.
The intake is a big intake.
Yeah, but the intake is the only thing you can really see on the car right now.
Yeah.
At this moment, with a stock block, an unopened engine, like we only replaced the valve springs and the camshafts. It's making 517 horsepower at the moment, and 555.
517 horsepower out of a 3-cylinder.
Yeah, 1.6.
Stock.
Stock unopened engine.
That's more horsepower than people get now, too, Jays.
Some people.
That's more power than my SR.
Yeah, we spent a lot of money on your SR, and we definitely didn't. Imagine it was a 3-cylinder, and it actually had that. But I suppose it must be a really modern, good engine to take
Yeah.
that. Got all the intake stuff. I've noticed the seats are definitely not stock.
Quite the investigator. They're definitely not
And one
stock.
thing, not sure I'd do 14 days on the road in those seats.
You will.
How are they comfortable? They have no padding.
Josh, get in there and see.
Get in the car, show us. Show us the face.
Show us the
Show
face.
us the face.
Well, you get a sharp spike to the crack if you get in wrong. Okay, actually, they could do kind of mold to you, actually.
Or 2,000 burgers like this trip is going, to be fair. It might not fit in the car at the
Actually,
end.
you know what? They're not bad. They're like, yeah.
Because they look terribly uncomfortable.
No, but you mold into it. Like, it's not awkward. I'm pleasantly surprised.
So we are here at DBM Engineering because we said to them that we wanted to come and check out all their cool stuff, but in reality we have a bit of an issue with our own car. So I feel like on the motorway somewhere between France and Belgium we may have lost one of our wheel balance weights. on one side because we're getting a little bit of a wobble at 70 miles an hour. And I've watched Flo pull cars out of walls at drift events, rebuild engines in the dirt. So if he can't do a bit of wheel balancing, we're all in trouble. So
Have you ever seen a race car with balanced wheels? I don't have a clue how the machine works, so.
You asked me to do the one thing you can't do.
I will start that again. So wheel balancing, right?
Yeah, no problem. Over here we have
He doesn't know.
over here we have Flo. He takes off the wheels, and I do the balancing for you.
It's teamwork, right? We're going to pull the Mark II in, and Flo also said he has a little surprise for us as well.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
So we're going to do some wheel balancing.
Yep.
And do a little surprise for Josh as well.
Me.
For you.
Surprise.
You know the way you love a little bit of a surprise.
It's like my birthday.
So we got two issues with the car. Flo is going to have a look at one of them, which is it seems like a wheel weight's come off, or there's a little bit of balancing issue on the front. Only at like 60, 70 miles an hour, just get a little wobble in the steering wheel. But because we're going to the Nürburgring and we're doing like a 12-hour straight trip after that on motorway, on the Autobahn, if it's wobbling at 60 or 70, it's probably going to wobble a lot more. But this is a Toyota, so it's, you know, late 90s, early 2000s. These are very unreliable. So we've had a major failure inside of the car. Look, we're giving the car away. We didn't want to tell everyone about these major failures, but look, we're going to be honest in this video. So obviously driving along, we've noticed this problem. This interior light has just kind of dropped down a little bit. Now, this is just not acceptable enough, but it still works fine, and it still doesn't make any noise, but I'm just not entirely happy with it. So after probably about 45 hours of driving, this is just not acceptable, Toyota. I thought this was a good car.
This is the reality, guys. Like, you expected things to break, and they have.
Yeah, I mean, we knew we were going to have some big breakages on this trip, and but we didn't expect to come across big problems like this. I mean, Josh once tried to turn the light on. It actually took a little bit more of a press than he'd like, and it still came on. So we promised before we give the car away, we're going to send this to Ryan in Vital Fabrication. We're going to have him have a look at it. We're going to refabricate this whole area and make sure that this light just stays there.
This one needs to be done.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be honest with you guys the whole way through here.
Just whilst our car's getting checked over, just a few things that I noticed around the place that I'm just going to fill you guys in on. So this Yaris, they asked me to guess how much money's been put into this, and I guessed around 20 grand. And in fact, 120 grand has been put into this. So it may not look it from the outside, but underneath, everything has been changed. All the diff has got rally suspension, all the arms, everything. The whole interior, the screen's been, I'm not going to say retrofit because it's a very modern dash in there. Cool work shifter, and I would hate to know how much those seats are. And one other thing that I want to show you guys is on this BMW, and obviously it's all flashy on the outside and everything like that, but for some reason, I don't know why, the thing that stuck out to me was the dimple dies. So it's kind of been bead rolled around the gusset. But, so what did you do?
Well, we actually saw this on the internet. We thought that's never going to work. So we had a friend of us 3D print basically a jig and a plug.
Is that plastic?
That's plastic, and then we filled it up with resin, and then you just press it in, and it works.
I thought you bead rolled around.
No.
That's like so much better.
Yeah, and then well, even got out of hand a little bit.
It got out of hand.
Yeah.
No.
We'll probably do our logo as well, and that's
like the possibilities are endless now.
Alright, so we found out there was some balancing issues, so we got them all sorted on our 4 wheels. We had no spigot rings on the front of the car, and also was struggling to spin wheels, not that we were trying or anything. So we've just made a little alteration to the car. The guys here at DBM have done a little bypass, so we're going to see if it's any better.
So for scientific reasons, we're gonna see if it can do a good old-fashioned Bernie. Okay, definitely can confirm it was definitely a traction control issue, and it is fixed.
So Flo has decided to show off some of his fancy machinery here that does plasma cutting. And Flo reckons he's going to make us up something a little bit special, right?
yeah, definitely.
All right, let's get to it.
So whilst Dave's cooking up something special and a surprise, it'd be rude not to go in this. And before we start off, I heard it's got pretty ridiculous launch control anti-lag. Can you do the anti-lag thing? Oh, again. It's only a miserable 3-cylinder. Oh my god. I didn't know 3 cylinders could make that noise. Oh, in the comfy seats again. If you say you don't like pops and bangs, I'm calling you a liar. The hotter it gets, the louder it gets.
So Josh went off for a spin in probably the maddest sounding Yaris I've ever heard in my life. And I haven't seen what this little machine has created, but so we're gonna see what it made, Josh. Are you excited?
I'm very excited. I set up a GoPro before I went and...
Oh, look at that. That is so cool. Oh, you can just take it out. Oh, wow. You know what we should do? We should go to like a cheap shop and get like a chain made and wear it.
Oh, that would be...
Let's walk around with the chains. We gotta get, let's get a cheap chain necklace and wear this around. That would be very cool.
There you go.
So we've made our cool hip hop chains, which is a big part of the journey for us. And now we're gonna head over to a very secret location where the boys reckon they have some stuff no one has ever filmed before. Let's roll.
Downshifts are unreal. We're going that fast then, I don't think I could hear anymore. The sound just left us behind. I'm not going to say what speed that was, but pretty quick, I will say.
The legal speed.
What's the speed limit? 80k, 100k?
100k.
Yeah, he was doing 100k.
Yeah.
Well, we are somewhere, can't say where, in Amsterdam, looking at a shed of cars that are stored away. Nobody's seen this before, it's never been filmed before, so we're excited. We'd love it. If there's any lads out there that love a good shed, it's us. We love a good shed, don't we, Lucas? Love it.
I love a good shed.
We love a good shed, we don't know what's in it, so they said it's going to blow our minds, so let's go outside. Josh, so we have a mix of everything from top to bottom in here. This is just a storage unit for you guys.
Definitely.
So we have like your missile drift cars. And this is definitely not a missile drift car.
No. This is Bosmel's competition car.
This is the one he did the demonstration at the Dutch Formula One Grand Prix.
Yes.
Which sounds like I have knowledge, but it just says it on the side of the car.
yeah.
But I did see.
How did you know
I
that,
did see it
Dave?
on his social media. So the whole car was livery just for the Grand Prix. Very cool to have like Formula One officially on the side of your drift car. We had one of these before. Big old HGK box.
Yep.
With stuff in it because
What's in this one?
just bits left out. They all look like Supra bits. So because there is just a Supra there, I just saw it. So this is obviously what came in the box was a whole Supra. And then we have an S14, which looks like it's kind of getting there.
Yeah, but yeah, this will probably make you happy.
Oh, jeez, I did not expect that.
Oh, this is tidy.
Oh, that's lovely. I just thought this was just going to be kind of a scruffy car, but
It's Gucci's car. So he's a big Naoki fan, so he tries to honor that in his engine bay.
Love the purple on it, surprisingly.
do you know what I love about this, Josh, which I never thought I would, is the colour match of the rocker cover to the paint on the inside of the bay. I think that looks so good. Usually it's a contrasting colour you go with. On
It's
the rocker.
almost too much, but it's really not.
Oh, it's beautiful. Let's park this up for the day. A little bit of SR love.
Yeah.
We're going to try and keep in order. So we've got obviously a standard Supra here, standard Mark IV. Nothing to see here.
Are they standard tyres?
Standard tyres on the back, obviously.
This is going to be a surprise because it actually has a 2J in there.
2J in a Supra. Wow.
Shocking.
Well,
Oh,
Big
that's not a
turbo
normal.
2J. But this one, like, it looks like it runs mega power.
yeah, it's right now it was pushing 1450.
1450 horsepower.
Yeah, it wants to go even faster, so it came to us and we're gonna redo the engine and try to make more power even.
I don't know where you have to be in your life where you have 1400 horsepower and then you say, can I get some more?
She feels a little underpowered. She feels a little underpowered to do a little bit more. That is amazing. So we got a HGK Supra. This was, I mean, we never did it, but we had the thoughts of doing a HGK body kit on my street Supra.
Yeah.
But then what we realized was how much of the standard car you need to cut away to get the kit on it. And also the doors are difficult because you have to put the Kevlar doors because it's a different line on the side of the car, but it does look so good.
Well, basically you could fit all that's on there now on the stock body. We tried to, put the rear quarters on there, but you really need to cut it to put those on.
No, that's kind of doable, isn't it? The doors are one bit where it's tricky because
It's not the door, Dave. It's the fact you have to chop all this off.
that I could deal with, and then that's a direct replacement on the front,
Yeah.
so it's not too bad. The front is almost like all of. And
Well, to be fair, Dave, I mean, the direct replacement, this is the hood still. That's the arch.
yeah, I'll come back to that off camera to have a look. Never mind, no one saw anything. We saw some similar things last night, and how this is where we came from last night. A lot of these old school stuff.
And now we're doing rolling shots with supercars.
McLaren. So McLaren's today, E36's last night. Classic drift games. No idea what we're doing. Some of these cars had a pretty hard life by the looks.
Yeah, this is my personal missile car.
Yeah, there's a few tips being had in this one, anyways.
Every bump tells the story of a smile, right?
Oh, definitely. But who has dry carbon air intakes on their missile?
That's a good point. These are probably worth as much as the car, to be honest.
more.
Probably more than the car. And then we got a G35, which is.
Your love for these.
I don't love them, but I did Drift Week in something very similar, and I've got a soft spot for how incredibly reliable they are as a car.
Yeah. This one is just making probably too much power for the gearbox.
Why? What? Show me. What have you done with this now? Why is this poor car? Oh, he's done bits.
Always looks like kind of trashy, VQ.
Yeah.
But this one, we bored it until it was a 4.3 liters. Put two big Greddy turbos on it, and right now at low boost it's making 500 horsepower and 1000 newton meters. When we can raise the boost until it makes 1000 horsepower and I think 1450 horsepower newton meters.
1000 horsepower G35.
Easy.
It looks kind of subtle on the outside. Just looks like a G35 in a kid. This BMW. Oh, hold on.
You thought this was standard.
I just had a look at it now. It's not, is it?
Yeah, we basically had an idea and built this. We found the caged shell and it accidentally turned into this in like 3 weeks.
Right, so lift the bonnets. I'm guessing there's something. Is there anything? Is there?
There's something going on in here.
There's definitely going to be something.
It's a K24?
Yes, yeah.
So it's a K24 turbo,
Stock block.
stock block.
stock everything. We just want to develop a setup with this car. Right now it's making 500 plus horsepower, 550 newton meters. And
So this is sort of a development car for you guys, just to get used to it. Because the K24 is the new option. It's the new one everyone's talking about because they're accessible.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of them. They all came in fairly regular cars. So that's why they're getting the nod against, you know.
in America, every soccer mom has a K24 in a car.
Yeah.
And you can buy these engines quite cheap, quite easily, and they're super strong.
This is like full steel rear end, still well, aluminium front end on the E46, but this one is lighter than the Kevlar E46 with the 2J that was at the workshop.
Because of the engine.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
So full stock, so the engine essentially set up on a 2J
Yeah.
is more weight than just if you had a K24 with stock body on it.
Yeah.
Bombshell time, folks. Bombshell. I can't believe in 3 weeks you made a fully working car for Michelle.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it's awesome to check out this little hidden gem workshop in the outskirts of Amsterdam. I think it's where we are. We're kind of lost to where we are. Are we in Amsterdam? Utrecht. We got a bit lost last night after all the running around. So it's been awesome to come here, check out this. I love a good shed. I love a good surprise. But this place is like so many weird engine swaps.
This is not your average shed. There's a Kevlar Supra in this shed.
The Kevlar Supra beside a Defender, beside a 1400 horsepower Supra. Not a normal shed, especially in mainland Europe. So it's been awesome to check it out. Thanks to the guys from DBM for all the hospitality. And we're now going to continue our travels on the road. Where we go next, I actually don't even know. We're just going to try and make this up as we go along. The whole point of this journey was to show you guys how the cool car culture that's kind of hidden away in Europe. And obviously the whole mission for our JZX 110 is to get to the stadium in Poland, get there where there's 55,000 people waiting, and we're eventually going to be giving that car away to you guys. And I can't wait to see who wins it. Entries are going to go live on Wednesday at 8 p.m. GMT. And for you asking all around the world, we are going to allow anybody anywhere to grab a ticket for this. But you have to arrange collection and delivery yourselves because we don't want any of our fans to miss out on this amazing car. So stay tuned for that. We'll give you more information on a future episode. Right now, we're going to get back in the Mark II and head on the road.
Is this a good idea or a silly idea?
It's a terrible idea.
Look at the clock, we're off the clock!
No, look at the front ones, dude. They're black. The wheels are black. If Dave asks, we took it easy.